Hey guys, welcome back to the Romel HD channel. I'm back with a brand new video and new content as well. So what we're going to be playing today is Football Manager. So we're playing FM22 and I'm going to be playing as Manchester United. So with this save, I did start around January 28th. So what I did, I created my player and then I simulated to January 28th, retired and then joined back again. Just so I started late, just so I would start late. Sorry. So the reason why I done that is because when you start, let's say around January 28th, for example, I'll use myself as an example. The database is already started its course and things have started already. So I like to play a game that is not completely mirroring the real world. So as we can see, things are already transpiring. So let's take a look at the transfers. Yeah, I started doing this from January 28th, and as you can see, things have started to transpire already. So Tottenham have gone in for Gravenberch. Gravenberch has joined Tottenham Hotspur on a permanent basis, and yeah, they've gone for 33 million. And Lodi, he's gone to Newcastle for 51 million. So that's how I like to play this game. I like to throw myself in the deep end and do the unexpected. And I think I've already mentioned before, we started off in a poor position. We was fifth place. We wasn't too far away from fourth, but with this kind of squad, you would be expecting United to challenge for a title and try to win a trophy this season. So let's talk about the club vision. So what they expect from me, they want me to sign high potential reputation players. They want me to develop the youth players, play entertaining football, which they're pleased with so far. We're gonna get into things like this because I have played games. Also, sign players under the age of 26 for the first team and for the future. The future is pretty much the same thing. I don't know why they've got that twice. Play attacking football, which they're delighted with. Like I said, I have played games. We'll get into that in a bit. Commercially, they want me to do well with the finances commercially, and also work within the wage budget. But that's something that's quite easy because we have a lot of wage budget to play around with. We're already knocked out of the FA Cup. We didn't play the EFL Cup. I joined afterwards. Challenging domestic, yeah, that's failed. So we already failed two objectives. They are required. Well, are they required? They are preferred. They're not required. So we won't get sacked on the off the face of our poor performance in the FA Cup. So I'm gonna get into the staff. So with the staff, I do have the database from when Ollie was at United. So we still have Michael Carrick, we still have McKenna, and most importantly, we have John Murtaugh. So he's gonna be one of the key staff members at the moment because I'm not gonna change anything up until the end of the season. Uh, this is my period to basically reevaluate some of these players and then what figure out who to move on and who to bring in. And on top of that, not just players, staff members too. So John Murtaugh's a part of that. With him, I haven't got too many issues with him. As you can see, his judging is quite decent for a scout. He's got good potential judgment. However, his negotiating could hinder us in future deals. So if I ever want to delegate something to him, he's possibly going to ruin it for me, or it can be 50-50. So it just seems like he's not great at negotiating deals, especially for big players as well. He's probably going to be a pushover when negotiating with an agent, and that's not a good trait to have in terms of a director of football. But yeah, let's move on to my assistant manager now, which is Mike Phelan. So at the moment, Mike Phelan, he's what we have for the rest of the season. Is he the best out there? That's something that we need to ask ourselves because yeah, his people management isn't that great. But you have to bear in mind, not every coach is gonna have every attribute down packed. Yeah, some coaches are good at other things. But my assistant manager, I'll probably want him to be a good people manager. I, if it did mean that it would hinder his coaching ability in terms of his defensive coaching, mental coaching, stuff like that, I don't mind. That's what the other coaches are there for. But yeah, my assistant, I would probably want him to be like me, probably be like a people manager. If we take a look at my own stats, Let's take a look at my stats, my attributes. See, I'm lacking in a lot of places because of how I set this game up. I put myself as just a semi-professional footballer, just so I have my back against the wall. Because when you start off with a low rating and a low reputation, your players tend to not respect you. But I've got good coaching attributes. I just need the mental side to grow a bit more. But that'll probably grow as I go along in this series. So because I have gone forward by a month, it is looking a bit better for me. But when I first started, this was on red and that was on red. This still remains on red as well. So the support from my players isn't high because of my history. I have no history at all. To in their eyes, semi-professional, being a semi-professional footballer isn't enough for them to respect you when you just walk in from nowhere with no CV. So as you can see, I got a lot of players that, well, not a lot, 7 players oppose me. Uh, the rest of them have no real opinion of me after a month. Tactics. So this is how I'm gonna set my team up. Probably most people use these kind of tactics and stuff. It's gonna be a custom Jurgen press. I just quickly selected that because I know my philosophy is gonna be based well around that, but with a bit of a twist because I like to hold on to the ball a lot more than the opposition. So we do play direct football, and we do have extreme tempo, and I do ask them to be expressive. But one thing I'm gonna ask them to do is play for set pieces because we have good set piece takers, and maybe just need to adjust this a bit. We do play counter attacking football as well. That's another thing to mention. Distribute to that. Sometimes I just leave things out, especially when I first start a save. When I first set the game up, it's just, yeah, I'm just eager to play it. So there's things that I miss out and forget to add. But yeah, what I expect from my defenders is to stay on their feet. I don't want people to be diving into tackles. So I'm not too sure if players like Bailey is going to work out for me because he is prone to diving into challenges unnecessarily as well. Now, so as you can see, I have the sweeper keeper. We have a defensive sweeper keeper. We have a covering ball playing defender, a ball playing defender. We have a wing back support on both sides with a ball box to box midfielder support, ball winning midfielder support, attacking midfielder attack, AP attack, but that's only specific to Jadon Sancho, poacher up top, but that's specific to Cristiano Ronaldo, and we have an inverted winger as well. So yeah, this is how I like to set my teams up. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clear. Battery's gonna die. I'm gonna clear the selection. Let me get my charger. So I've cleared history now. I've cleared the selection history. So this is what the team looks like without anybody in the team, because obviously I have people that have specific instructions and specific roles in that position. So I do have an advanced forward, so he's going to be running in behind into channels, looking for an opportunity to get a shot on goal or get played through on goal as well. Inverted wingers, I prefer a left-footed player to be on this side, on the right side, and a right-footed player to be on the left side. So that's how I normally play. Because we have Jadon Sancho and we have Rashford and we have Martial, it's going to be hard to play them all on one side because Jadon Sancho is good on the right. If anything, he's probably better on the right. I just make an exception for him. I'm going to play him as an advanced playmaker, so he's going to be more creative than an average right winger. So in terms of captaincy, I already know what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to keep Bruno as vice captain. Maguire seems like he's not a good fit for captaincy. I'm probably going to strip him at the end of the season from the captaincy. I don't know who I'm going to give it to. Definitely not giving it to Ronaldo. He's not someone that's going to be here long term. So it wouldn't make any sense at all to have him as captain. So at the moment, my candidates will be Bruno. I could promote him to captain, or De Gea, because those two are the ones that show a bit of leadership. Except De Gea doesn't really have leadership ability. As you can see here, his attributes are on 10 for leadership. But I'm merely going off, going by his hierarchy in the squad. So he's a team leader alongside Marcus Rashford and Ronaldo. So this is the hub for the mentoring. So what I normally do, I create cores. So I've got core one, core two, core three, and core four. So what I do is just separate people, and if I see people that have a lot more common with each other, I put them in groups. It's probably the wrong way to do it, but I've done this several ways in different saves in previous years, and it's benefited me and it's hindered me. So yeah, it's just I don't know. I think it's either luck or maybe there is an actual formula to making mentorship work for your squad. So what I did it based on people that have a lot in common. So most of the Portuguese speaking players are within core two. So we have Ronaldo, Delo, Fred, Fernandez. Cavani doesn't speak Portuguese, but he is driven like them. So like I said, I find things in common. So he's driven. He's a perfectionist. I put them together. Um, the only thing is I could add Tellers to this group, but I think he's quite fine over there. So we have Varane, Martial, Van der Beek, Matic, and Bailey. For me, I just picked the only reason why Varane's there is because I don't really have a place for him right now. But the rest of these guys are awkward people because yeah, they're not, as you can see, most of them are in different kinds of groups. This is what people normally base it off. They base it off the social group. But what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to create some sort of team that's one because there's three groups, and I don't want there to be three. I want to narrow it down to two. If if we can get it to one, that's great. But yeah, if there's three social groups, that means the team is not completely together. So in every group, there's going to be someone that's from the core social group. But one mistake that I made is that I made one group that's got a lot of core. Maybe I should spread this out a bit more. So not everything's perfect. I'm still learning as I go along. Like I said, Varane's a bit awkward. He's in a social group the group letter B. So I say number. So he's in group B for the social group. Wan-Bissaka's also in an awkward group as well with Martial, Tellez, and Loftus Cheek. But they also base it on professionalism as well. They base it on a lot of things. There's a lot of things that they base it off on. So they can either base it on how long you've been at the club for. If you're a similar age, they base it off that as well, and they also base it off levels of professionalism. So we're gonna move on to transfers now. The deals that I've done so far contain Pogba, a few loan deals, and Loftus Cheek. So we're gonna talk about the loan deals. So I've loaned out Alanga for the rest of the season to Roma. That's a good move for him. I did sell Noam Emeran. His contract was expiring at the end of the season, so I just got rid of him. I don't really know who he is, and I'm not well versed on him anyway, so it wasn't really a massive hit for me. Hannibal, I loaned him out to get some game time at Millwall. And also Mengi, he's gone to West Brom on loan. So anything this little area, I had nothing to do with. As I said, I joined the 28th. So Alvaro Fernandez happened just before I joined, and Diallo happened before I joined as well. We also have Paul Pogba, the sell of Paul Pogba. So I ended up selling him because his contract was running out, and on top of that, he was very decisive of what he wanted to do at the end of the season. It was clear. He made it clear from the jump that he wants to leave. He weren't gonna negotiate. So it was best for me to get some money from him instead of letting him go for free. Some managers would have kept him on, try to secure Champions League, but I rather secure Champions League and not have the disruption in the squad. So yeah, I ended up selling him for 29 million. I end up getting Loftus Cheek for a loan deal until the end of the season with the potential to sign him for 5 million. The reason why I've done that is because he is someone that I like as a player individually. His ability, on the other hand, has a few question marks. So I've used him in previous football managers, and his ability's been quite decent. Obviously, he's gone down the last couple of years. But, so yeah, he's a box to box for me, and his dribbling ability is someone that stands out for me. His composure, his teamwork, and his work rate is quite decent. So, like I said before, he is a good squad player. He's not someone that you start week in, week out. And here is why you can't start him week in, week out. Okay. we're going to take a look at his injury history. So most of his injuries were serious. He only had a slight injury around December the 14th, which was slight. It was a bruised ankle. But the rest of them, actually, wait, minor. This one says minor, bruised thigh, which is decent. But this is within the same season, bearing in mind. And these are only 2 months apart. So, he was only out for 9 days altogether. But when it comes to this, he was out for 9 months for a damaged Achilles tendon, a back strain, and hip injury. And this is from the start of his career, mainly 2011, and then 2013, and then 2019. So yeah, those are quite big injuries for a player, especially when he was a young player as well. These happened. He's 26 now. He's still got a lot to go, but you can even see it on his cons. He's susceptible to injuries, so that just means he's injury prone. So you can't really go into a season hoping that he's going to be a mainstay in your midfield. You should only use players like him as a squad player. But like I said, he was a cheap and cheerful deal in a time of panic. So that was my panic buy. We all get one. That's probably going to be the only panic buy that I'm going to do throughout the series, because I'm very picky with my signings. I don't even normally sign people that are injury prone. So okay, this is the first goal. So yeah, we have the ball with Rashford. We move the ball quite well down the left-hand side. As you can see, Shaw runs up the left-hand side. He interchanges with Fernandez. I give the ball to Fred. Fernandez moves into the box and takes a shot. And as you can see, it worked out in our favour. That there was brilliant. I have no issue with that. So as you can see here, I have the ball. Once Eze gives it back to me. Mateta gives it back, sorry. Here. Wan-Bissaka, he doesn't need to do that. Look, let's go back to it. So Wan-Bissaka, let's pause it here. Let's see if I can take a different view, because I'm pretty sure I can. So Wan-Bissaka had several options. He had this guy. He had this guy. He's a bit marked, but if you wanted to be cheeky, you could have passed it to him. But what Wan-Bissaka ended up doing was giving the ball away unnecessarily back to Tompkins, and look what happens next. Let's try to figure out how to use it again. So as you can see, they come back on another attack, and then Mateta plays a nice ball in behind, and look at Edouard. Free shot on goal, and if it wasn't for David De Gea, we'll be losing. Well, not losing, drawing, because we're already 1-0 at that point. But yeah, a lot of things like that. I need to get that out of certain players' game. And yeah, it's going to take some time. It's not going to happen straight away. Okay, so next I'm going to highlight another fault. So a free kick was given to Edouard, or to Crystal Palace, from a challenge from Varane on Edouard. We're going to speed this up, ref. Speak to him. Speak to him. Speak to him. Okay, cool. So they're about to take the free kick now. So we have Eze over this free kick. Look what happens. Ayew has a free header on the front post. So that there alone is a problem. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's even marking the guy that scores the goal. Who is this? See, this is the annoyance about this. We're not able to see the name. Oh, that's Sancho. See, why is Jadon Sancho marking people like that? We should have a player like Varane marking him. He's a number 9. Why is Jadon Sancho as a future number 7 marking a number 9? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But he's marking him. Varane just throws his arms up in the air, and that's it's the mentality of the team that can have an effect during the course of the season. So that's what I'm up against. This is why it's probably going to take me some time to get used to playing with some of these players and fixing the situation at the club. We did end up scoring though. We ended up scoring through an own goal. It's not a special goal, but we take them. We ended up winning 2-1 in that game. And so with this game, there's a lot of poor performances all round. Even Fernandez had a shocking game. Luke Shaw played badly as well. I think this is where his form starts to dip. We're gonna take a look at some highlights. Gomez takes a free kick, and it only takes quite a few passes to split us open. Like, why is Lindelof over here, looking over there? Why is his face facing over there? This guy's a bit tapped. And then Origi comes through and just slides it into the back of the net, which it's not Wan-Bissaka's fault. He's had to come across to try help Lindelof. Lindelof was caught out of position unnecessarily. So the next parts that bother me is clearly this free header straight after conceding. But this is what bothers me the most. It's the wasting of chances. So we have an opportunity. Once Varane gets the ball to Fred, Van der Beek tries to play a ball, it gets intercepted, but Ronaldo gets a ball put on his plate. The ball was given straight to him. He had an opportunity to score, and he's whacked the post. It's not necessary to be rushing opportunities like that. He could have even taken an extra touch if he wanted, but he just didn't decide. He just decided to not do it. So what happens now? Jadon Sancho does play Ronaldo in behind. It's a mint ball. Look how mint that is. Plays a nice ball in behind, and look, Ronaldo wastes it. So this is where we stepped up a bit. We upped the tempo a notch. We end up winning 5-1. So Rashford ended up getting a hat-trick, which is brilliant. But look who got an assist. Ruben Loftus-Cheek. In fact, I think he's played really well every game he's played so far. Let me fact check that. So he's been above average every time. So I think 6.5 is the average mark, or maybe 6.6. So that one game, we're gonna get onto that one. Yeah, he's had an average game in those games, but in other games he's been perfect. He's worked out for me so far. Keyword so far. As you can see, we put out a fantastic performance XG wise, and it was far greater than our opponents. Even possession, we dominated. This game was against Wolfsburg. Again, we turned up. We beat them 3-0. 9 out of 10 performance by Fernandes. We have Jadon Sancho performing well, and I think this is the point where I moved him into the advanced playmaking position. Once he was able to be a bit more free on the right hand side and create more, I think yeah, he started flourishing a bit. So now we have the game against Watford, where things started going down a bit, but it's only because I decided to change up the tactics. So what I decided to do, I decided to go with a 4-3-3 instead of keeping it as a 4-2-3-1. The only reason why I did that is because I wanted to see how my players could adapt to certain games. And I thought we'd still be able to dominate Watford and play a bit more defensive, which we did statistic-wise. But in terms of the match points, we didn't end up getting the 3 points. As you can see from here, we did dominate possession a bit. We did create a lot more chances than they did. We had a 2.71 XG. We only had 6 shots on target out of 23. But again, Van der Beek had a shocking performance, and Sancho, because I decided to play them as I decided to play Sancho as an inverted winger, because that was the tactic, the core tactic of the 4-3-3. I didn't make any exceptions for anybody. And then Van der Beek, I played him as an advanced playmaker. I didn't play him as a box-to-box. So yeah, again, it took its toll. I didn't learn from my initial mistake when I first played these two. Then we're going to go into the game against West Ham. So West Ham, we end up beating them 3-2. I didn't even play this game. I simulated. I did instant result. But I played Sancho on the left again. I played him in a role where he's not entirely comfortable with. Even though he did start his career out on the left, just a dramatic change in positioning for him unsettled him going into the next game. So Greenwood came in. He played really well. He got 7.7 inside forward. And we also had a 6.8 from Matic, who made a little feature. And Telles, this is another player I want to talk about. With Telles now, I don't really fancy Telles on this game. As you can see, his positioning as a defender is really shocking. Realistically, it should be highlighted in red. I need to change the boundaries again. But yeah, 9 is not good for a defender in terms of positioning, especially his marking as well. It's not good enough. If if you're gonna go on like that, you may as well just be a winger, because defensive duties, we're reliant on positioning and also marking and tackling, and he hasn't got any of these in abundance. Also, another thing is his teamwork. So that's not even like you're going forward and you don't really have great teamwork as well. So he has no desire to get back when we really need him to. So another player I like to highlight is McTominay for positive reasons. So far, he's just been putting in really good performances in most matches that I've played him in. So we're gonna take a look at matches from here onwards, because that's when I was in control. As you can see, he's given me 6.9, 7, 7.4, 7.1, 7, and 7.7. So this guy has been really consistent with his performances since I've joined as manager. So I feel like he's going to be a mainstay in the team. I am still going to go in the market for a ball-winning midfielder. But at the moment, McTominay is going to be really hard to push out that spot, especially for the likes of Fred. At least the Southampton game. This game we ran riot. As you can see from the jump, we was pressuring them, we was piling on the pressure. We scored really early with headers from Ronaldo. I'm gonna show you some goals, treat you guys to some goals. As you can see here, we have the ball with Rashford on the left hand side. Ball's crossed in, it's cleared out. Van der Beek gets the ball, recycles it. Wan-Bissaka's gonna run forward. He's charging forward, gets the ball crossed in, and look at this nice header from Ronaldo. We take the lead. See. They need to add that to the game, by the way. Nice. Okay, so we have the third goal, another set piece goal. Rashford takes the ball down from across from Fernandes and smashes it in to give us a 3-0 lead. So for the fourth goal, Rashford again gets on the score sheet from the left-hand side. I've noticed that we score a lot of goals from attacking on the wings. That isn't an instruction that I've set. I think they just naturally play like that because of the ability that we have out wide. And again, another goal from across, Jadon Sancho on the far post. He heads us into a 5-goal lead. And there was a lot of greens in the starting 11. A lot of greens. I only made 2 substitutions in that match. Actually, no, I bought on Lingard, but I bought him on a bit too late, so he didn't get any. Didn't get any touches on the ball. But yeah, I think, like I was saying earlier, I think McTominay is going to be one of them surprising players in this save at the moment. But yeah, that covers us for this episode. This episode was just to basically establish the series and what the content's going to be with this series. What I'm going to do is I'm going to complete the season. Evaluate the squad. I'm going to do a recap and also a review on what happened off camera and explain to you guys so you guys are filled in. And then we're going to move into the summer window, and then I'm going to make the changes that need to be implemented in order to move this squad forward. But yeah, until the next episode, hope you guys have a nice, and leave a like, subscribe to the channel, also drop some comments below. Give me some suggestions as well. Give me ideas for Football Manager. Leave suggestions of gems, of cheap players and bargains that I can take a look at. I'm obviously not going to sign them just off the rip of you recommending them. I'm going to do my little scouting, my little scouts myself, see if they fit the team, and if they do, I'll probably put them in a short list and then make a decision once we get to the summer. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. And like I said before, if you enjoy the content, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, drop some comments below, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye for now.